European champion in the lightweight men's single sculls. But it's straight back to the start now for the A final of the men's pair. Serbia, Hungary, Great Britain, Netherlands, Czech and Belarus. Over there in lane 1, Milos Vasic and Nedad Bedic of Serbia are in lane 1. Bronze medalists at the World Championships last year and the European Championships last year. Adrian Juhász and Bela Simon Jr. of Hungary in lane 2, 5th at European Championships last year. Great Britain are in lane 3, Alan Sinclair and Stuart Innes, bronze medalists in the men's 4 at the World Champs last year. Roel Braas and Mitchell Steinman of the Netherlands in lane 4, silver medalists at the World Cup last month. Jakub Podrazil and Lukas Helešik of Czech Republic are in lane 5, just missed out on a medal at the European Championships last year, so keen to make amends for that today. And Dmitry Furman and Giannis Surovets of Belarus complete the field in lane 6, being a relatively new combination themselves. They've rarely made A-finals in the past, so just being here in this A-final today, I'm sure they'll be very pleased with that in and of itself.
Yeah, the Belarusians moving their crews around. And, well, let's see how the brutality of this crosswind affects the pairs. The British in the centre lanes, marginal favourites for this as we ride with the Serbians, bronze medalists in the World Championships over there in lane 1. It's a good lane draw, you have to say, for the world bronze medalists, Vasic and Bednik from Serbia. But the early leaders, this pair from Belarus, two strong men on this side. I don't fancy that we'll see them in that position as the race unfolds, but a great start from those two. I wonder if the water's flattened out a little bit from the women's pairs, Peter.
It's looking pretty similar out there. A lot of chop and a lot of spray going around the place, but it's Furman and Surovets of Belarus on the near side making the best of it at the moment, with Braas and Steinman of the Netherlands, as we ride here with Stuart Innes in the stroke seat on the near side of this picture and Alan Sinclair in the bow seat on the far side, doing well over in lane 3, not quite out in the lead, but I think they're ones to watch for the later stages of this 2K race. Yeah,
the British pair we're seeing there in the centre of your screen, vying there. We see a shot of Roel Braas, the Dutch single sculler, tried to get to Rio in the single scull, but decided to change his path when he threw his lot in with Mitchell Steinman when Roger Blink was injured. And the Dutch pair shown that they are a combination to be feared. There's the Serbians, Peter.
Vasic and Bedic currently striking 37. They've lifted the rating ever so slightly, now at 38, coming through the 500. So a bit of a burn after that first quarter of the race to try and get their nose out in front. Just a margin up on Braas and Steinman.
They like to rate high, the Serbians, don't they? And that's really difficult in these conditions. Nenad Bednik really likes to go out in front of races and use the pace well, and I think they're using that far lane 1, to the advantage.
Well, they're a very well-established pair, so these conditions won't be throwing them off too much. They were bronze medalists at the World Champs last year and at the European Championships last year, so they rode together all the way through the last season. But look at Braas and Steinman now for the Netherlands in lane 4. They look like they've just about taken the lead from the Serbians, as we ride now with Great Britain, Sinclair and Innes looking good, currently down in 3rd place.
The Dutch won their semi-final, but in the heat where they raced the British, it was the British who got through them. So you will see these positions change, providing that these guys can keep their blades clean. If any of these guys have got a little back injury, a back niggle, these are the conditions that will make it show up.
The movers now, though, Hungary lifting their rating to 37. Juhász and Simon are starting to get their nose up into contention for the lead of this race. This really has become a 4-horse race here. These 4 crews look to be the ones to watch for the medal positions.
Juhász and Simon are having the race of their lives. The Hungarians, they've got to go to the Olympic qualification regatta in 3 weeks' time, so they will be more advanced in their speed. But I think being in the mix at this stage of the race, quite late through the race relative for them, normally they're trailing by a greater distance will give them a motivation, Peter.
And look now, though, coming past the island, Innes and Sinclair are out in front again. So lead has been changing so frequently for the last 200 metres, and it's almost as though Sinclair and Innes are going to take the lead from Vasic and Bedic in the next couple of hundred metres. They've used that island just as we saw Glover and Stanning.
Yeah, not quite the dramatic burst. I think the Hungarians, for me, are the surprise package. In fourth place at the moment, but really, as the conditions get rougher, if they can keep loose, they could be in the hunt for a medal. This Czech crew on this side doing very well too, but there's the Serbians. The camera has not really concentrated on the British crew, who are the fastest moving crew on the course. That's them in the centre. They've tightened up, haven't they, a little bit? You see that Stuart Innes and Alan Sinclair, normally so smooth. Look at the water. Really, it's like a sea out there. And the Serbians, well, they have just put the bit between the teeth. Start of the third quarter, the high rating start. But let's take a look at the British. They were training in Aviz in Portugal, and it was extremely windy the first few days. I know the British rowers send out the mirror-like photos when it looks fantastic, but the British have been used to training in rough conditions, but nothing like this.
The Serbians, though, the way that they're dealing with the conditions and maintaining that lead and the fastest boat speed on the water just shows incredible strength there. But Great Britain, I think they could be contending for that gold medal as we come into the last 600 metres now. Hungary lifting the rating ever so slightly as well. Yeah,
Milos Vasic just said, the 25-year-old bowman told Nenad Bednik from Serbia, look, this is our race, let's go out, let's be brave, let's not wait for the last quarter. And that's a nice move, because the British are the fastest pair in this race on form, but as you can see, these conditions are a great level. A fantastic row from the Hungarians, still in the hunt for a medal, and that would be a real turn-up if they manage that.
And just on the last shot there, we saw Podrazel and Helečík of the Czech Republic look to be getting back into this. They've closed down the lead to only a couple of seconds on the third place, but we're riding now with the Hungarians over in lane 2, who are still very much in this. They've risen up to third place from 5th in the first stages of the race, but I think this is really a battle between Great Britain and Serbia for the lead, and then a second stage battle between the Netherlands and Hungary for bronze.
You can see the Serbian, look at the stroke man there. Nenad Bednik is still loose in his shoulders, and look at the British stroke man, Stuart Innes, and he's hunched in his shoulders, and that means his power is not using to good effect, but they are inching up the Serbian boat. I would take Britain to win from this position, unless the Serbians have got a super sprint in the last 250. There's about 50 seconds left of this race.
They're into the red buoys now, and look at that turn of pace from Great Britain. They pulled it out of nowhere. Boat speed up over 18, rating going up, but still making the most of it over Hungary's 43 strokes a minute. Maintaining length at that pace is really tough.
There was a little crab there from the Hungarians.
Last 150 or so
it's
meters.
Anyone's race, this. The Dutch are sprinting, the Czechs are coming. What a fantastic race. It's not over yet.
This is absolutely going to come down to the line. 50 metres to go. Great Britain look to be just about out in front by a bow ball.
The Hungarians are going. The Hungarians could win this. What a sprint for the Hungarians.
There's nothing to choose between them.
They're going to win.
They're going to do it.
The
Coming up to the line, Hungary.
Whoa.
European champions 2016
that is sensational.
On GB.
Sensational. And the Hungarian stroke man, Bela Simon, just raises his hands. 21st in the World Championships last year in Egbalat, and they are European champions, beaten the might of the British squad. Stuart Innes holds his hand in his hands. The Dutch, the Serbians don't know where they're. The Hungarians, that is amazing. What a race.
What an amazing race.
Wow.
How on earth they pulled that out in the last 200 metres, I don't know.
And they caught a crab.
Shows that they
caught a crab, Peter, with about 150 metres to go, and they wound it up.
Absolutely incredible. What a race from the Hungarians. And looking here at Roel Brass and Mitchell Steinman, bronze medalists in that race. Fantastic performance from them. I just wonder what happened to Serbia in the last 200 metres there. Taken by surprise, perhaps.
Well, that must be one of the races of the year. It's certainly the surprise of the year. You can see the field so close up there as we came through the 1,000 metres past Acapulco Island. Serbians looking the pick of the crews. The British really, you can see Stuart Innes there just gritting his teeth, Sinclair behind him, and he beats his legs, and really he knows that the conditions brought the worst out of him, the tension.
There's a formal result though. Juhász and Simon of Hungary, European champions in the men's pair. Sinclair and Innes, silver medalists. Brass and